Am I the butthole? Hedgedorf says, WIBTA for going back on my promise to get my daughter a pet fox. My daughter 16 female has gotten really into some particular social media channels it seems and has become pretty determined to have a pet fox. She's done all this research and begged me for it and says she knows they're expensive but she could put $200-300 a month towards it from what she makes at her part-time job at an arcade here. I spent about a day doing research and told her, fine, if she can find a fox rescue to volunteer at for a couple months and she can build a suitable enclosure in our yard, we do have a big enough yard, then we can get a pet fox. I sort of expected she'd be deterred by the reality of it, but it doesn't seem like it. Within a week she'd found a wildlife rescue place half an hour away and got a volunteering spot with them and has been going to volunteer there for the past 3 weeks, 1 day a week. She also started researching how to build the enclosure and has some friends who said they would help her out. But I've started to think this is a really bad idea. Firstly, every time she's come back from volunteering she's brought this really horrid odor back into the house. The first time I passed it off as she must have slipped and fell in some awful mess there or something, but no, it's been consistent. The second time I talked to her about it and she rolled her eyes and said, oh, it's not that bad, it was rough for my first hour or two, but you really do get used to it. All animals have a smell like dogs/cats etc. Her clothes appeared to be all clean, but still carried the smell. Secondly, it seems like it will be too much work for her while managing school and work. But she promises she can make it work and says I get straight as, it's not fair to use that concern against me. I know she'll be really mad and feel like she did a lot of work for nothing if I go back on my word and say we are not getting a fox, but I'm worried about the consequences of getting one. WIBTA for going back on my word? Too long. Didn't read. Promised daughter a fox pending certain conditions. She surprised me by fulfilling them. WIBTA for backing out. Northern Lit Up says, AITA for making a promise that you never intended to fill. WIBTA for not allowing her to get a fox. Foxes are not pets. The one who ends up caring for this fox when she goes off to college, etc. will be you. But let me reiterate. You're a massive tar for even making that promise in the first place and your daughter has every right to be furious with you. You have damaged your relationship with her by lying to her. Mr. Lidley says, you should sit down and have a candid conversation with her about how foxes are not meant to be pets. Most people who take care of foxes do so with the intention of either rehabilitating foxes, or if they cannot be released to the wild, placing them in proper homes with people who can attend to their needs 24/7. A teenage girl who might be moving away for college soon is not one of them. Street Off Chime says, I think you make an excellent point. Maybe daughter can be a fox foster? Is that a thing? Not have a fox as a pet, because that is awful, they are not domesticated. But fostering might be a compromise? I don't know. I'm spitballing here. Is a massive R for making a promise that they aren't going to keep after the daughter has met benchmarks. But is also an R for ever considering a fox as a pet. Cats self-domesticated. They were like, hey, humans have a steady supply of rodents nearby, befriend humans, get easy access to rodents and food scraps. Foxes have decided against this. I imagine a fox conclave somewhere, and a vote is held every century to remain undomesticated. Reaction Flawless 8973 says, AITA. In all your research you didn't find a single note on how much foxes smell. I wonder what else you aren't prepared for. They are not easy pets. They're my absolute favorite animal, but no way would I want to live with one. Hedgedorf says, I did. In fact, I was surprised how often it came up. I suppose I was naive, because my thought was, well, if the absolute worst thing about them is that they're a bit stinky, then it must not be too horribly hard to care for them. I'd been warned against having dogs or ferrets etc. in the past because they stink too and always found the concern to be overblown, so I figured this was no different. But no, if what she's coming home smelling, like after volunteering, is normal fox stench, it's not just a bit smelly, it's heinous. Ugh. I figured if she wasn't actually coming into contact with their feces or urine it wouldn't be that bad, but that doesn't seem to matter for some reason. /am I the butthole? Comfortable _put 4682 says, am I the butthole for calling my mistress sister out on her hypocrisy? I 22 female, have an older sister 27 female. We used to be close, but not anymore throughout these past few years. I got out of a long-term relationship and have started dating for the first time in a while. I've been seeing this guy for months and he invited me to his mother's destination wedding to Mexico at the end of August and I agreed. I told my sister about it when she asked me to babysit her kids during the time I would be away, and a few days later she comes over and says she doesn't think I should see the guy anymore. I asked why, and she said she searched him up and sees he has a kid with his ex-girlfriend and that being away for 2 weeks for the wedding makes him a bad father and I shouldn't be with a deadbeat. I was shocked and told her that he has a good co-parenting relationship and sees his son regularly and it doesn't him a bad dad to leave town for a wedding, plus has not even my boyfriend. Yet, she went on to say that she can't believe I would date a deadbeat after seeing what she's gone through with her twins' dad and how much she hates her life and struggles, and that him disgusting and a side chick and has probably still messing around with his ex because all baby daddies still sleep with the mothers of their children and empathetic. I told her then where is yours? And that's when all hell broke loose. When my sister was my age she used to date married men all the time, specifically because they were married. She loved being a mistress for some reason. I was young at the time, but still understood how what she was doing was wrong, and she would always say I was a little girl and wouldn't understand when I was older. She would tell me about how her boyfriends would choose her over their wives and kids, and she especially loved when they would become deadbeats after dating her. She said it gave her a sense of power knowing a man would do anything to be with her. She eventually changed once life humbled her and a married guy she was seeing got her pregnant, promising to divorce his wife, and instead ended up moving states with his family. She became a single mom of twins and didn't take care of her postpartum body and gained 80 pounds on top of her other weight gain and is now focusing on her kids and doesn't date like she used to. She pretends she's changed as a person, but really it's because she has no other choice. I told her all that above and she started crying saying I'm disgusting and went too far because I know she's right, and she stormed out. My mom called me screaming saying I'm disgusting for insulting my sister and need to say sorry or I'm an asshole. She's trying to shame me for going on a 2-week-long vacation with a single father when she used to date married ones. Fear saying my sister's past is her past and that she's not that person. Desert Song Lala says, NTA, your sister is bashing this guy cause she wants free childcare, thus no FKS were given when sabotaging your happiness. Good for you holding your ground against her accusations, W/no merit. Your sister talked freely about her hookups for years, so given this foundational knowledge it was okay to say, then, where is yours? It's a logical question following her accusations about your choices. Unfortunately, her choosing an available man elevated her sense of worth, which no longer exists. This brewing psychological tempest is not your fault, it is of her making. Mom sounds reactionary and does not grasp you were insulted by your sister, yet she is not held accountable. Best to you, and if you travel with him, have a blast, safely. Jasper Jamboree says, I think the sister still wants the sense of controlling people. Even though she used to get off on thinking that married would do anything to be with her, she knows that ship has sailed for her, and now she's trying to get her family to bail on any plans they have to serve her whims. She's hungry for power, since her looks no longer serve her. NTA. Apprehensive underscore skin 150 says. Sister just wanted a free babysitter. Irish 52084 says. NTA your sister stuck her nose where it doesn't belong, you called her on it, and she got defensive and started an argument with you. She asked for the smoke and now wants to run away crying for sympathy because someone, aka you, stood up to her bullshit. I can almost guarantee she told a totally one-sided sob story to your mom in order to gain her favor in this argument. RickSauce22 says. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. NTA. Phiziphus says. I've been seeing this guy for months and he invited me to his mother's destination wedding to Mexico at the end of August and I agreed. And, plus has not even my boyfriend yet, what? Diddlerfish25 says. NTA frick, I hate when people say someone has changed, but the person does absolutely nothing to prove that. Loudant2 says. NTA, it's clear that your sister's motive was she wanted you for free babysitting. I don't think you are enough for telling your sister how it is. But, like how well do you know the guy? You're not even together, but taking a trip out of the country? Tread safely. Wiscontribakish says. NTA, don't throw stones if you live in a greenhouse. That's all for this video, thank you for watching, please subscribe.